What if I told you that the person you least expect to walk into your life could change everything? Maya never thought love would find her in Accra. After all, her heart had been shattered at just the age of 18, and she had promised herself never to fall again. But love has a way of sneaking up on you, even when you least expect it. As the bus rattled along the roads of Accra, Maya stared out of the window, her mind a thought away. Her uncle, Tunde, had invited her to stay with him for the summer, thinking it would help her heal. And maybe it would. But all she really wanted was peace. No distractions, especially from men. But that Sunday morning, everything changed. Her uncle urged her to come to church. The choir is amazing. You love music. Come with me, Maya. It will lift your spirit. She reluctantly agreed, unaware that this decision would set the course of her future in ways she couldn't imagine. The moment she stepped into the church, something shifted. It wasn't the place itself. It was the atmosphere. The choir's melody swept through the air, stirring something deep within her. Music had always been her refuge, and now, after everything, it was still the one thing that made sense. Maya's voice was like a hidden gem, not meant to be heard by anyone here, not today. But when the choir director invited anyone moved by the Spirit to join in, her uncle gave a nod. She hesitated, unsure, but in a fleeting moment, Maya found herself standing and singing. The entire church seemed to still, as her voice floated above the congregation. Delicate but powerful, Maya sang with a beauty and sadness that captivated the room, not knowing that a pair of eyes from the corner had been watching her closely. Abel had been a quiet observer in the church for years. There was something about this visitor, though something beyond her voice that drew him in. She seemed strong on the outside, but there was a sadness in her eyes that resonated with him. After the service, he approached her with more courage than he realized he had. "You have a beautiful voice," he said, his words gentle but sincere. Maya blinked, surprised. She wasn't expecting anyone to speak to her. "Thank you," she said simply, wanting to retreat back into her protective shell. But Abel wasn't just anyone. His compliment wasn't forced, and his smile was warm. It's not just about singing. It's like you were breathing life into the song. Something in his tone made her pause. Abel didn't push, didn't pry. He just existed beside her. And in that moment, Maya allowed herself to feel a small crack in the wall she'd built around her heart. Days turned into weeks, and Abel's presence slowly became a part of Maya's new reality. He was kind, thoughtful, and never overstepped. Church events became their meeting ground, and soon, casual conversations grew into something deeper. Maya told herself not to trust anyone, especially not men. But Abel was different. He never pressured her to share more than she was comfortable with. Instead, he listened, really listened. One evening, after a midweek service, Abel asked Maya to take a walk with him through the city, busy markets in Accra, and to the beaches as well, where Maya found herself sharing her deepest fear. "I didn't come here to find anyone," she admitted softly. "I came to forget, to heal." Abel stared at her deeply, his voice as steady as his gaze. You don't have to find anything, Maya. Sometimes love finds you. His words were simple, but it stirred something inside her. Could she really let her heart open again? One night, as the waves lapped softly against the sound, Abel turned to her, breaking the silence with a confession. I think I'm falling in love with you. Maya's heart raced. She hadn't expected this. But as the words sank in, she realized they mirrored her own feelings. I think I'm falling for you too, she whispered, her voice barely carrying over the ocean's hum. For a moment, they sat in the stillness of the night, knowing that something powerful had just begun. But as beautiful as it was equally terrifying. Just as everything began to feel right, reality came crashing down. Maya's time in Accra was nearing its end. Kumasi, her home, her school, and her responsibilities was calling her back miles away from the life she had begun to build with Abel in Accra. They had known this moment would come, but it didn't make it any easier. On her final day in the city, Abel came to the church to say goodbye. The church that had brought them together was now witnessing their parting. As they stood at the church entrance, Maya's heart felt heavy with the impending separation. They hugged each other and assured themselves that nothing would change how they felt about each other, not even distance. What comes next? Distance can test even the strongest love. And Maya and Abel's story is far from over. Could their connection survive the miles between them? Or would their love fade like a distant memory? The road ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. This was only the beginning. Their bond would face challenges they couldn't foresee. And the question remained, was love enough? Want to know what happens next? Stay tuned for episode 2, where Maya and Abel's love is put to the ultimate test. Follow along, comment, and like as I share my personal love story filled with joy, heartbreak, and lessons learned.